lovely people. I don't usually call you guys that. I don't call you guys anything. Do you guys like me calling you lovely people? Should I continue to do that? I got my hair done, guys. Is it cute? I think it's cute. Today's video is going to be a little different. I've never done a video like this before. And today's video is going to be me hurting my feelings. And what I mean by that is I'm going to be reading 1-star reviews of books that I've rated 5 stars. So in other words, I'm going to be hurting my feelings because here's the thing about me. Books that I've rated 5 stars, I am so utterly obsessed with these books. Like, I am obsessed with them. Some of them I am so connected to. And I'm sensitive. I'm a sensitive girl, okay? So, like, things hurt me easily. So, I'm kind of scared for this video. But anything that entertains you guys, right? Right. So, I have a list of books. I don't know if I'm going to do all of them, but I'm going to show you all of them, and then we'll see if I end up doing reviews for all of them. I'm going to do at least 3 reviews for each of them. So, yeah, I will show you all of the books that I'm choosing. First book is They Both Die at the End by Adam Silvera. I don't currently have the book. My friend is reading that book, so I don't have it with me, but I love that book and the feelings that book made me feel. I couldn't read another Adam Silvera book. Like, I couldn't read another Adam Silvera book for months. I read that in February. Couldn't read another Adam Silvera book until December. Yeah, it was like that. It was like that. Another book, which I didn't even think of because it's not on my actual bookshelves. It's on this one, is A Man Called O by Frederick Bachman. We're going to include this because I also cried at the end of this book and didn't read another Frederick Bachman book again until like a year later. So yeah, those 2 authors make me cry every time. They make me feel so many things, so like I can't possibly like read a bad review about these books, but I'm going to. So yeah, They Both Die at the End and A Man Called Ove. Next we have The Outsiders by S.E. Hinton. One of my favorite books of all time. One of my favorite movies of all time. I live and breathe The Outsiders. I want to reread this book this year. I love this book. I've read this book I think 3 times, and I like it can't do any wrong for me. Like, I actually am obsessed with this book. So yeah, S.E. Hinton, The Outsiders. Then we have Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. Here's the thing. I loved this book, ate this book up, 5-star book. Like, that's never going to change. But with this book, I can handle the criticism for this book, I feel like. And a lot of the books that are coming up, I can handle the criticism. I will not be heartbroken if these books don't get, like, amazing reviews. I will be okay. Then we then have Carrie Soda's Back by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I also really love this book. It made me want to go play tennis. I've only ever played tennis in like gym class, and I suck. Like, I suck at it. I'm so bad at it. But does this make me want to go play? Absolutely. Am I going to? No, I'm not. But does it make me want to? Yeah, it does. It does. Not gonna lie. So yeah, Carrie Soda's Back. Next book is Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. This is one of the books where I don't tell me anything bad, because it's wrong. It's wrong. I loved this book. Love this book. Love the movie. It's just so good. It's just so good. As you can see, I'm not going in depth about why I love these books and why these books are 5 stars, because we will be here for quite a long time, so I'm not going to do that. I don't know if I told you guys that in the beginning, but I'm not going in depth as to why I love these books. So we have Out on a Limb by Hannah Bonham Young. I've talked so much about this book. We know what I love about this book. We know. We're well aware. 5 star. Love and Other Words by Christina and Lauren. Every book that I've read from them has been a 5 star. This was the first book I read by them. That was a 5 star. And like they can do no wrong. They can't do wrong. So you guys knew this was gonna be in the list. You knew it was. We also have these last 3 books I've also talked about in videos. We'll do the first one, the one that I haven't talked about as much. I feel like I've definitely talked about it a lot, but not as recently as I've talked about the other 2 I'll show you. But XOXO Baxio, I've talked about this a bunch of times, but I don't think I've like talked in depth with it as much as I have the other 2 books, because this has been in a video, but it was in December of 2023, so it was quite a while ago. You guys probably don't remember, but it's fine. It's fine. This is a 5-star. Then we have Archer's Voice by Mia Sheridan. I've talked about this book, I think, in 3 videos at this point now. I think this book has been in 3 videos that I've talked about it. Yes. And then this last book I've talked about so many times, Biting 13 by Chloe Walsh. I'm so glad that I finally read it, because oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So good. I've talked about this in 3 videos as well, probably more. Ignore my ringing phone. I'm sorry. I'm just so popular. I'm not. It's probably just my mom. Anyways, Biting 13 is also a 5-star for me. So now we're gonna get into the 1-star reviews. I'm scared. Guys, what are people gonna say about these books? Like, what are people gonna say? So the first book that we are going to be reading 1-star reviews for is Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. So this book has 21,910 1-star reviews, compared to the 436,725 5-star reviews. Anyways, that's not what this is about. Okay. I'm going to try to find short ones because I just don't want to be reading long ones. I'm tired. I want to go to sleep. Someone said this is the most sexless book I've ever read. I don't know what you mean by that, but I suppose. I feel like there was a good amount, though. Right? Maybe not. Maybe not. It says, this book is unbearably cheesy and possesses 0 literary merit, like reading Tumblr tag meta but worse. I'm horrified that it was called exquisite by the New York Times, which clearly has fallen into disrepute. Disrepute? Obviously, I'm not smart enough to be reading your comment. Obviously. Someone commented, they said, putting it nicely, to be honest. What do you mean? I think it was cheesy. I do think it was cheesy. But I think it had some... Maybe it didn't. Maybe it didn't. You know what? I could be real. Maybe it didn't have any... It has some literary merit. A little bit. Be nice, please. Someone said, I hated this book with every fiber of my being. Words cannot fully express the rage I felt while forcing myself to finish this. I need a lawyer to represent me because I really want to sue the author for wasting my time. Honestly, you could have DNF'd it. Sounds like a you problem. No, I'm kidding. Well, no, I'm not kidding. You could have DNF'd it. You also didn't give any reasons as to why. Like, why did you hate it? I don't know. Someone said, you know what I like about rich kids? Nothing. Honestly, that's valid. Okay, I'm not seeing very much for Red, White, and Royal Blue. Thank goodness. They didn't get too bad. The next book I'm going to be reading 1-star reviews for is The Outsiders by S.E. Hinton. I do feel like a lot of these reviews are going to be school related because a lot of kids had to read this book in school. So I feel like a lot of reviews are going to be school related. This one has 18,852 1-star ratings. What are you guys talking about? Okay. Someone said, I hated this book. It's corny, cheesy, and an insult to the reader's intelligence. The characters are one-dimensional and basic. I thought they were very dimensional. 3-dimensional, if you will. Not basic. No, they were a little basic. A little bit. Basic greaser boys, for sure. But They were three-dimensional. Okay? Okay, Jack. Someone said, I wish I could write this slower. I know this book was written by a 15-year-old, but come on. The writing could have been way better. The storyline was far below mediocre. The message behind the story was nice, but the book itself was so boring. I really hate rating books this slow. Unfortunately, I believe this book fully deserves my rating. The only thing worse than the book is the movie. The movie is amazing. The book is not boring, okay? And also, he's like, I know she's 15, but like the writing needs to be better. She's in 9th grade. What are you expecting? Some stellar writing from a 9th grader. Please. Please. You're not gonna get it, okay? I think the writing was out for her being 15 years old. I think the writing was really well for a 15-year-old, because I know I, for one, as someone who was taking like honor English classes, I know for one I was not writing like this in 9th grade. I was not. So yeah, I disagree, but we can agree to disagree, I suppose. The movie was good though. The movie was good. No offense, but I don't know why people love this book so much. It was boring and I just didn't really like it at all. It wasn't boring, in my opinion. In my opinion. Someone said I did not like this book. It was very character driven and I don't like that. This I will agree with. The book is definitely character driven. There's not very much, I mean, it's kind of a plot, but the plot is not super like significant. Like, it's significant but not. Like, if you are a plot girly or a plot boy, you probably won't like The Outsiders. I'm not gonna lie. It is very much character driven. Very much character driven. So they're right about this. So if you don't like character driven books, you're not gonna like this book. Don't even try it. This person actually gives us reasons why. Flat, shallow, cliche. I felt like a logical novel inspired by Wet Side Story. Bad writing, bad characterization, predictable plot, just awful. Well, it was a little cliche. It was. And I think it was inspired by Wet Side Story. I think it was. I don't think the writing was bad considering her age. If she was older, I definitely would have been like, but she wasn't. So I do think the writing matches her. Bad characterization, predictable plot. I did think for the most part the plot was predictable, but towards the end I did not think it was predictable, and I do not think the characters were bad. So some things I can agree with you, some things I'm just like, we'll agree to disagree. That's what I'm gonna say. We'll agree to disagree. The next book we will do is Out on a Limb by Hannah Bonham Young. Oh wow. This book only has 235 one-star ratings. That should tell you enough. Go read the book. Go read it. Okay. Someone said pregnancy trope is not it. I've said this before and I'll say it again. Tropes are literally on the back of the book. On the back of the book, most of the time, especially if it's a main trope, you are going to know about it on the back of the book. And Out on a Limb, you know that it is a pregnancy trope if you read the back of the book. If you hear people talk about it, you know that it's going to be a pregnancy trope. That's like reading Fourth Wing and being like, oh, dragons are not it. You knew what you were getting yourself into, my love. Like, come on. Come on. Oh. Someone said this book is about being pregnant the entire time, except at the very beginning. It is a book about these two people kind of trying to figure out what they're gonna do about this kid that they're gonna have. So yeah, the book is about her being pregnant. It is. Shocker, I know. Okay, This one I can kind of agree with. This one said books actually need some sort of conflict to help the plot. Otherwise, what's the point? I do agree. I do think that books need conflict, and I do think that Out on a Limb lacked conflict. I do think that, but I'm also a girl that does not like conflict. I hate angst. So it was kind of a breath of fresh air for me to not see angst, but I do think that books do need conflict. But I think I was just at a point where I read a lot of books that had a lot of conflict, and I was just like, yes. So I feel like maybe if I read it at a different point, maybe I would feel the same way, but I do not think I would give it a 1 star for it. But I do agree with this to an extent. Yes. The next book we're doing is They Both Die at the End by Adam Silvera. This book made me cry at the end, so obviously I have a connection to the characters and this book. It has 26,983 1-star ratings. Someone said, I hope they stay dead. And then someone else said, oh my god, they died. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. I think that one was like funny. I think that was funny. I think it was meant to be funny. Like, oh my gosh, they died. Someone said the most insta-love story to have ever insta-loved. I do agree that the romance was definitely insta-love. I do agree with that. So, you got me there, I guess. Someone said the only thing I liked was the cover. Fair. Fair. The cover's pretty. I love the cover. I also love what's inside. But, you know, if you didn't like what's inside, at least you like the cover. You can display it on your bookshelves. I don't know if I'm the only one that's confused, but this does not sound like a 1-star rating. It says that ending seriously caught me off guard. How? How? I don't know. Anyway, the world building was kind of underwhelming. Adam Silvera could have done a lot more with the concept and the different point of views. I am not sure if this book is overhyped, but it definitely was a really good read. I liked Mateo and Rufus and saw a little bit of myself in the both of them, which made the story even better. This is why I'm confused as to why it's a 1-star, because she compliments it. I don't know. I'm not in their brain, so I don't know. With the world building, I feel like there wasn't really any world building. Like, I didn't see anything in the book as world building, so I never really thought to rate it as anything regarding world building. I do feel like he could have done more with the concept, but what he did do with the concept, I was satisfied by. So, yeah. This one makes me laugh because I feel like I had these same like reactions. It says, it is a no-go. It broke my heart and I hate it for it. I was not ready for these emotions, and I don't know, guys. It's hard to tell. It is so good, so I cannot handle it. All I know is I'm overwhelmed and I'm not trusting Adam Silvera anytime soon. Girl, you are so right. You are so right. One thing I don't do when I read Adam Silvera books is trust him, because I know he's gonna make me cry at the end. So therefore, my feelings are not safe with you. Therefore, I don't trust you. But I am gonna read your books because I love your writing. But I do not trust you. I love you, but I don't trust you. Okay? Let's get that. Let's get that straight. I love you, Adam, but I do not trust you. Not with my feelings. Not with my heart. You have broken it 2 times now. I will continue to let you break it with your other books, but I will not trust you. But because you make me feel these things with your books, they will be 5 stars. But like I said multiple times, I will not trust you. I do love you, though. I love you in your writing. I do. This one, I just find this one funny because I think it's a play on like the name. It said, this book made me want to die at the beginning, the end, and the middle. Okay. Okay. I'll give it to you. Didn't make me feel that way, but if it made you feel that way, I hope you are okay. I do. The next book I'm going to be rating is A Man Called Ove. Is it A Man Called Ove or A Man Called Ove? Because I always say A Man Called Ove. Okay, this one says, it probably makes me a foul-mouthed curmudgeon, Like, oh, but I'll say it anyway. I hated this book. Utterly predictable from the beginning and full of inane, cliched observations about life. Okay. So what I'm going to say is, while it may make you a hater, I can agree with you on some things. From the beginning, I don't think it was predictable, but I think towards the end, I definitely could tell what was going to happen. And wow, that did hurt my feelings. I definitely could tell what was happening towards the end. And I feel like in a way it is a little cliche, but not at the same time. Parts of it were cliche, parts of it were not. Let's leave it at that. Someone said, incredibly basic, boring, predictable. I don't understand all the wonderful reviews. I cannot finish this book. It was so boring and lost my attention every time. I've tried really hard to finish and got about 85% of the way through when I realized this book is not going to get better. This is it. This is the book. Here's the thing. The boring part. If you are looking for a action-filled, plot-driven book, with all of Frederick Bachman's books, you are not getting plot, really. His books are definitely a lot more character-driven than they are plot-driven. The plots obviously add something to the book, but they don't add very much. I think in something specific about the Beartown series is that plot really drives that book. Those books, I feel like, but in his other books it's very much character driven, hence why a lot of his books are named after the characters that the book is following. So that is true to A Man Called Ove. You are following these characters. The characters are the reason why you are reading the book and not the plot. So yeah. This one is one that I actually kind of agree with. It says, I'm obviously in the minority here, but I couldn't get past the writing style. Seemed like every paragraph had a descriptive and long simile, as if this and as if that. It started on page 1 and I noticed it, and I couldn't avoid bumping into one on every page. While it didn't bother me, I actually really like Frederick Bachman's writing style. I do get it when people say that it's annoying and that it's hard to get past, because seeing as if like every other paragraph can definitely get repetitive and get annoying. So I do understand when people point that out and are just like, that turned me off of the book. Completely understand that. So yeah. The next book is XOXO by Axio, and this book has 529 one-star reviews. Let's see what people are thinking about this one. This one says, really cheesy, and I don't think I was in the right mood for it, unfortunately. Also, the characters are so boring and everything happens so conveniently. Everything did happen so conveniently, but I think with it being a young adult romance, I wasn't surprised by it. And also, it was really cheesy, but I loved it. I can't lie. I thought it was cute. Someone said this is that episode game in novel form. Honestly, you're so right. You're so right. And honestly, it makes sense that I would like this book because I used to play that game. You're on to something here. K-drama made a book. You're right. Every time I talk about this book, I say it's a K-drama. So I mean, yeah. Okay. This one I can agree with. It says, I've never understood the hype around K-pop and I doubt I ever will, so it felt kind of uncomfortable reading about how these kids were treated. You almost get executed for dating someone. Like, dog, be for real, who cares? So, I am someone who listens to K-pop all the time, watches a lot of K-drama, and indulges in a lot of Korean culture, right? So I kind of am well aware of how specifically the Korean fans and Korean entertainment companies and so on and so forth react and treat these boys and these girls, and their artists essentially, and it's not good at all. It's actually very dehumanizing in a way, So I can get how someone who is not a avid K-pop listener or K-drama watcher or stuff like that would feel uncomfortable reading this book and would then not like this book because they are not, I guess, familiar with how the treatment is. And not saying that the treatment is good, because like I just said, the treatment is horrible. They are almost treating these kids like they are pets in a way, which is disgusting. But I think because I watch and listen to so many Korean music and Korean movies and Korean shows, I'm kind of, and like hearing these idols talk about their experiences and how they're like, yeah, this is happening, but also like this is my job. I think I'm kind of used to it, which is horrible to say, but reading this book and seeing how they were treating it is not anything new to my knowledge. It's something that I've already was aware of, but I can see why someone who has never understood the hype around K-pop or knows anything about K-pop would be like, this is not okay, and would rate it a 1 star. Completely understand. Okay. So this one says, unless you gravitate toward Wattpad style storytelling and intend on treating this book as a self-insert, then you will not find much interest in reading this book. The characterization in this book is quite spotty and doesn't paint the characters with distinct human personalities. So if you guys don't know what Wattpad is usually, a lot of the time, it's fan fiction, but sometimes it's like where people go and write stories. If you want more in-depth on Wattpad, just look it up. And then self-insert, like a self-insert book is like a Y/N, which means your name. You're putting yourself into the book. It's like the book is like about you and another person. You and the male main character, or if you're a guy, you and the female main character, or whatever you want it to be. So that's what they mean. I do think that the book did give off very much Wattpad vibes. I do agree with that. I don't agree with it being a self-insert book, but to each their own. And in my opinion, I think that they were really well-rounded characters, but I also could see why people would think that they were kind of just like flat. I could see why. But yeah. We'll agree to disagree on that one. Some things I could agree with you on, and some things I'm kind of just like, I don't agree, but like I understand why. Okay, so that was me reading 1-star reviews for my 5-star books. I obviously didn't do all of them. Maybe I'll do part 2 at some point if you guys are interested in that. I didn't get as hurt as I thought I was going to get. I thought my feelings were going to be way more hurt than they were. Look at me growing. But as you can see, like, even though I love these books, and these books are like my pride and joy, and I love them to death, I can agree when some people say bad things about the book, because sometimes, as good as a book may be to me, it has its flaws, and I can acknowledge those things. If you guys have read any of these books and you think they're a 1-star or a 5-star or a 3-star or a 2-star or a 4-star, let me know in the comments below. Feel free to put any spoilers, since I've read these books, obviously, or don't if you don't want to spoil things for other people. If you guys liked this video, like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next Tuesday.